everyone, it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, it is so nice to meet you. Today's video, I am going to be giving you guys a review of Kindle Unlimited after being subscribed for about 5 years now. I got my first Kindle in 2019 and having Kindle Unlimited has been super awesome. I feel like just by being subscribed for 5 years is enough of an enough of a review for you guys, but I did want to talk about the specific things that I love about it, maybe some things that I don't love about it, and things like that. I love posting review videos. I have done a review of the actual Kindle. I have done comparison videos of the 10th generation Paperwhite to the 11th generation Paperwhite. I've talked about why you need a Kindle, why I think they are awesome. I've compared the Kindle app on iPad and iPhone to having an actual Kindle, and I talk a lot about books as well. But I also make other content like other lifestyle stuff, coffee, traveling, parenthood, and things like that. So books are just one of the things that I talk about on my channel over here. But yeah, I thought today would be a good day to sit down and film this. So if you guys want to try a free trial of Kindle Unlimited, this video is not sponsored and Amazon has no idea I'm making this video. But if you want to get a free trial, I will have a link in the description box down below. I think I earn a small commission as like an incentive for referring you to the free trial. So if you do sign up for a free trial, that is actually so helpful to me. And like I said, that would be super helpful to me. But of course, if you don't want to try it, that's fine too. Or if you don't want to click on my link, then you can always just Google Kindle Unlimited free trial and that will there as well. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. I like to start my review videos with the cons and then talk about the pros because we want to end on a positive note. Typically, if I am filming a review video and posting it for the world to see, it is typically something that I'm recommending, and I only want to share the cons because I want people to be aware of things they might not be aware of. So let's just talk about the cons really quickly. I really only have two. Before I get started though, I guess I should tell you what Kindle Unlimited is. It is essentially a lending library that costs $11.99 a month USD, and you have access to millions and millions of different books, ebooks, magazines. There are other resources on there as well. You can download up to 20 at a time, and I think that's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty basic, but okay, now let's talk about the cons. So I feel like a lot of people, when they get a Kindle, they are so excited because they can read all of the fun new releases, but you don't have just like unlimited access to a lot of really popular new books. Not every single book that's available on Kindle is available through Kindle Unlimited, and I think that people sometimes think that that's what that means, is that you can have access to any book on there, but there are only certain books available on Kindle Unlimited. I mean, the library is massive. There are literally so many books to choose from, but for example, if you wanted to read a new Emily Henry book, you would have to either purchase that or download it from your library or something like that, or just hope that it's on sale. But it's not in Kindle Unlimited. A lot of other popular authors like Colleen Hoover, she does have some books on Kindle Unlimited, but not all of them are. So things like that. And also, if a book is available right now on Kindle Unlimited, it might not always be available on Kindle Unlimited. As long as you download it and choose to have that as one of the books in your KU library, then you can read it, but once you return it, you may not be able to like check it back out again because it's not available anymore. An example would be that Sarah Adams, who wrote the cheat sheet and the rule book and other books like the Rome, Kentucky series, I discovered on Kindle Unlimited when her books were published through an independent publisher. I guess she was publishing them herself on Amazon, and once her books got picked up by a traditional publisher, they are no longer available on Kindle Unlimited. So just that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you do read a book on there and you want to reread it, it may not always be available. And kind of to go along with that, when you return a book, if you have any notes or highlights or anything like that that you did throughout the book, you will no longer have access to those notes because they're connected to the book. So that's also something to keep in mind. If you download the book again, then you will have access to it, but once it's no longer in your Kindle Unlimited library, you can't just go back and reference them. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But that's pretty much it in terms of cons. So let's talk about the pros. I have a lot of them. So the first pro is that there are just so many books to choose from. I can find myself scrolling forever. There are so many different genres. If you like historical romance, if you like rom-coms, if you like spicy romance, if you like cute little clean closed door romance, if you like young adult romance or regular adult romance, if you like a thriller, if you like a mystery, if you like domestic thrillers or crime thrillers, police procedural thrillers, there are just literally so many options of books that you can read. And I love that they also have access to children's books on there, so it's not just novels. And you can download magazines, which I think is really cool if you are into actually reading the articles in magazines. And since you don't have to have an actual Kindle to be able to access the Kindle Unlimited library, if you are downloading a children's book, it might be better to read it on an iPad or a Kindle, on your phone or even a computer to have access to the colored pages or like a Fire tablet or something. But overall, I just think that there are so many options. And if there's a children's book that you want to buy but you want to actually look through all the pages, I think it's a really nice way for you to like actually read through the book before you buy it. So that's something else. Next is that a lot of books include audible narration. I will show you a picture right here, but there is an icon with the little headphones on it next to Kindle Unlimited. If it's available with audible narration, it automatically downloads to your Audible account if you have one. And the best part is that you have access to that specific audiobook without one having to download it separately on the Audible app, but you also don't have to have an active Audible membership. So as long as you have an Audible account, you don't have to pay for a subscription for the books that are available through Kindle Unlimited with Audible. So some books you can like add on and pay for the narration, but some books they're automatically included. So if I go to my Audible account right now, I have a book called Imaginary Strangers by Minka Kent downloaded on to my Kindle from Kindle Unlimited, but it's also available on my Audible app, which I think is really cool. There are other books that I've downloaded that are on here. Sometimes I'm in the mood to listen to an audiobook, so I will specifically look for books that include narration. I just think that that's a really cool way to get more books in, especially if you don't really have a ton of time to sit down and actually read, but you have plenty of time to pop in some headphones and listen to a book. Next, I said earlier in the main description of Kindle Unlimited that you can borrow up to 20 books at a time, and honestly, that is so many books. It makes it really easy to be a mood reader if you like to change from romance to thriller to whatever. Having access to 20 books at a time is actually so many books, and it also means that whenever you're going on like a book download spree binge type thing, you can send them to your Kindle up to 20 books. So if you're like in the mood to just like add books, you can do that. So I think that's really awesome, just that you have so much access to so many books. And that also means that if you share an Amazon account with someone and have multiple like devices, then you can have like other books on the other account, if that makes sense, without worrying about really running out of room. Next is that there are a lot of authors that publish independently, and they often do get picked up by traditional publishers when they get popular, especially if they get popular on Book Talk or here on YouTube. They can get picked up by traditional authors, and that one makes me so excited. It's kind of a bittersweet moment. It's bitter because you want it available on KU for free, especially if they release subsequent books that are in a series, but it's also really sweet because it means that the authors were recognized enough through their independent publishing that they were able to be recognized by a traditional publisher. And I'm sure that's what every writer wants, is to be able to have their books published traditionally so that they're going to be in bookstores and all of the big book websites rather than just on Amazon. Like I said earlier, Sarah Adams, who is no longer on Kindle Unlimited, that's where I first discovered her books and I absolutely love them. Another author that used to be on KU that is no longer on KU is B.K. Borison. I really loved the Love Light Farms series, and all but one of her books was available on KU. They're not anymore, but they were. But I just think it's really nice that you can kind of discover new authors and even genres that you may not have had access to or may not have ever heard of because they were not recommended to you. Especially if you're buying books on Kindle or in the Kindle store, they are going to show you the most popular books, the best sellers, and things like that, unless you're looking for something specific. But when you're on KU, you actually take the time to like really browse through, at least I do, take the time to browse through and find books that you might like. So it helps to discover new authors, for myself anyway. Something else is that even though there are a lot of smaller indie authors, there are still really popular authors on there. They may not have all of their books available on there, and they may not be available all the time, but I know Abby Jimenez just recently had all of her books, not all of, but some of her books put on there. I know there are some Colleen Hoover books. I will be honest, I first started reading her books in 2020 because Regretting You was available on Kindle Unlimited, and I think that's where her books initially got traction. Like I said, Abby Jimenez was on there. Mary Kubica, I'm not sure how many books of hers are available on there, but I know that my favorite thriller ever is Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, and it is now available on Kindle Unlimited actually recently. Another author that's really popping off right now is Frida McFadden with the Housemaid series and her other books, of course, and I have read several of her books and I've read them all through KU. So if you are like looking for a fast-paced thriller author, she's on there. If you like really spicy romance, there's Elle Kennedy. I have read a couple of her books, but the ones that I've read have also been traditionally published, so that's actually really awesome. But she also has some other like really spicy books that are available on there, so if you're into that kind of thing. Rebecca Yarros, I know a lot of people are loving her right now. She wrote Fourth Wing and she writes other romance novels. Rachel Hawkins wrote The Heiress, that's what I'm reading right now, and there's The Villa. She also wrote The Family Upstairs. I don't think The Family Upstairs is available, but her other books are, which I think is really awesome. And Hannah Grace, who wrote the hockey, I think it's a hockey one. I haven't read it. It's crap, what is it called? I literally can't remember for the life of me. Icebreaker maybe is what it's called. I think it's called Icebreaker. I haven't read it because I've heard it's really spicy and I'm not into that, but that's available on there, and I know that's a really popular book right now. Megan Quinn has a couple of books out at like Target and stuff, which I think is really cool, and all of her books are available on KU, and I have read a lot of those. So just like there are a lot of really popular authors on there, even though, you know, there may not be the ones that you're looking for, there are still other popular authors. There are also tons of classics available if you are in school and you are reading classics for an English class, if you read them in an English class when you were younger and you want to revisit them as an adult, if you never got a chance to read the classics and you want to take the time to do that now. I know that I have reread some classics and I definitely understand them a lot better now as an adult. Just my reading level is a lot more advanced than it was. Basically anything that you can find in an English class is on there. The next thing is probably my favorite part, or the next two actually. They are basically comparing to the library. So unlike the library, if you download a book through the library's ebook system, mine is Libby or Hoopla, and if you check out a book from the library, you only have so much time available to read those. So my library books for ebooks are 21 days, and I think that's also my regular library, regular like physical books, but is 21 days. So from the time that you check it out to the time that you turn it in is 21 days. And sometimes you can renew books if they don't have any holds on them, but 21 days is 3 weeks, and for some people it's gonna take them 3 weeks to read a book, or they, you know, want to check out several books at one time because they're available right now, and or all of your holds from the library become available at one time and you feel like you're rushing to read them all. The thing about Kindle Unlimited is that once you have downloaded it onto your Kindle, once you have chosen to borrow that book from KU, that is on your Kindle and available for you to read for as long as you want, as long as you have an active subscription. So if you downloaded 20 books at a time, I've had Kindle books, I've had KU books literally sit on my Kindle for over a year before I read it. And it's just so nice because when you're like in that binge mood to be able to download up to 20 books at a time, you don't have to read all 20 books within a certain time frame. You can take your time reading them. And then this one also kind of goes hand in hand with that, is that there are no wait lists or holds. When you have a really popular book at the library that you want to check out, they only have so many copies that they can loan out, either physical or ebooks. But with Kindle Unlimited, if it's available, if you can see it, then you can download it and it's available for you to read right then. You don't have to get on a wait list or anything like that, which I think is really, really nice. So anyway, that's all I have for today's video. I could probably talk about this topic forever. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!